Everything begins with a thought. Every achievement, every invention, every decision. Whatever you can imagine, you can create. Some may believe they have little control over their thoughts, but that is not entirely true. You cannot always control the first thought that enters your mind. Thoughts often appear on their own, shaped by memories, emotions, and past experiences. But you can control something more important. You can govern your thoughts. You decide which thoughts deserve your attention. Think of every thought as a visitor. Some visitors you invite inside. Others you politely let pass by. The longer a thought stays, the more influence it gains over your emotions, your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your life. Your brain is plastic, like clay. Imagine a piece of soft clay. If you drag your fingernail across it once, you leave a shallow groove. Run your fingernail through the same groove again, and the groove becomes deeper. Your thoughts shape the brain in the same way. Every time you repeat the same thought, you strengthen the same neural pathway. Over time, repeated thoughts become habits of thinking. Marcus Aurelius captured this idea when he wrote, "The soul is dyed with the color of its thoughts." Thought is, in essence, directed attention. And wherever attention goes, your life follows. A person who governs attention governs his life. If you constantly focus on problems, your mind becomes an expert at finding more problems. If you focus on solutions, your mind begins searching for possibilities instead. Attention is the starting point of every decision you make. More than 2,000 years ago, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus understood this. He was born into slavery in what is now Turkey in the year 55. As a young man, he was taken to Rome. Eventually, he gained his freedom. Instead of seeking wealth, he devoted his life to teaching philosophy. His students described him as such a powerful speaker that could make his audience feel exactly what he wanted them to feel. According to Epictetus, suffering has two main causes. First, we try to control or desire things that lie beyond our control. Second, we fail to do what is within our power to do. By letting go of what cannot be controlled and act upon what we can control, we find happiness and inner peace. This idea becomes more powerful when we understand where emotions come from. Events do not automatically create emotions. Our interpretation of those events creates emotions. As Epictetus taught, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Imagine two people, Henrik and Peter. Both lose the same business deal. Henrik thinks, "I'm worthless. My future is ruined." Peter thinks, "I have learned something valuable. Next time I will do better. Maybe this is the opportunity I have been looking for." Same event. Completely different realities. The outcome for Henrik is the opposite of the result for Peter, because thoughts shape emotions, and emotions shape actions. One of the most important lessons to remember is this: thoughts are not facts. A thought does not become true simply because it appears in your mind. Every thought must be tested against reality and against reason. Think of every thought as an investment. Ask yourself, what return will this thought produce? Will it help you make a better decision? Will it move you closer to your goals? Or does it simply create worry without leading to action? If a thought produces no value, stop investing in it. When you train yourself to think clearly and rationally, you begin acting the same way. You recognize opportunities faster. You hesitate less. You make decisions with greater confidence. Success rarely comes from one extraordinary decision. It usually comes from thousands of small decisions made consistently over many years. Clear thinking creates better emotions. Better emotions become better actions. Repeated actions become habits. Habits shape character. Character shapes life. Every day you make hundreds of choices. You choose what deserves your attention. You choose the people you spend time with. You choose how to use your time. You choose what to accept and what to refuse. The quality of your life is largely determined by the quality of those decisions. When you govern your thoughts, you become less dependent on circumstances. You may not control everything that happens around you, but you always control how you respond, where you place your attention, and what action you take next. Thoughts consume energy. Every unnecessary worry drains your mental resources. The person who invests that energy in what can actually be controlled becomes more effective than the person who spends energy on what cannot be controlled. Mastering your thoughts frees time. Time spent thinking about unnecessary matters is a mental expense. Imagine someone who spends just 2 hours every day worrying about things he cannot change. Over the course of 1 year, that adds up to more than 700 hours. 700 hours that could have been spent reading, exercising, building a business, strengthening relationships, or simply recovering the energy needed to do meaningful work. The truth is simple. You do not live the life your circumstances create. You live the life your thoughts make possible. There is a simple chain that explains how our lives are formed. Thoughts create emotions. Emotions drive actions. Actions become habits. Habits shape character. Character influences decisions. And decisions create results. Everything begins with a thought. Marcus Aurelius understood it. Epictetus taught it. Modern neuroscience confirms it. This model combines the ideas of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus with a practical perspective. It demonstrates not only that thoughts matter, but how they gradually shape the behaviors that ultimately determine a person's ability to succeed. Every person lives in the same world, but not in the same reality. Our reality is shaped not only by what happens to us, but by the filter of thoughts through which we interpret what happens. The person who learns to master that filter builds the foundation for everything else. The question is, what thought will you choose next?